expenditure. Salaries is a big thing. The wage bill, which is why that biometric registration exercise that began at the beginning of this month is continuing, and it will be launched in the counties. And for that, we have James Ongwae, thank you very much, Governor of Kisii County, to just tell us about this idea of the wage bill and knowing just how many workers and all of this tying into the money that is available at the counties and for what purpose. We thank you for joining us this evening. Tell us about the launch of this enumeration exercise, or the biometric registration that's taking place in the counties. How will it benefit the counties better to know how many people you have?
Thank you very much, Vion. As you know, as a country, we got a new constitution. That constitution ensured that out of the 44 ministries that we had, we now have 18 ministries. It also ensured that we created 47 county governments. What that meant was that you had staff that were in national government and staff that are now in county governments. And the rationalization and realignment of those staff had not taken place. So the biometric exercise that we are talking about is actually beyond biometric. It also has to do with the realignment of functions, both at the national and county levels. It has to do with a determination of the capacities that exist at the county levels and at the national levels, so that the whole issue, because the whole argument here is about service delivery to the Kenyan people, and that is what the exercise is all about. Now, this exercise is an exercise that we agreed on as part of the summit meeting that was held in June last year. We all agreed, the governors and the president agreed that we are going to realign our structures at the county and national level.
Okay.
The president indicated at the national level that he would ensure that the national government is able to realign its functions.
All right. I'd like to just step in a moment. So it'll be good for service delivery, which is what you're saying, which is what devolution is all about.
Yes.
Can you tell us the situation that persists in Kisii County now? Do you know how many workers you have right now on your payroll? How many do you think are ghost workers, even as the exercise begins later this month?
Thank you very much. In Kisii County, we now know how many workers that we have, because I undertook a ghost cleansing exercise. In fact, I removed about 140 people from the payroll who didn't come for the payroll cleansing exercise, and but a number of other counties have probably not done it. But for me, I did it.
How are you able to ascertain that they're ghost workers? Because they did not show up.
They did not show up.
What you call the cleansing exercise?
Yes, they did not show up. And we gave them time, we gave them a month to show up. We wrote letters and everything, they didn't show up. And some of them were also working in other counties, but were being paid from Kisii County. Others had long retired, but were still reflected in the payroll. So all in all, we removed, I think, I'm thinking it was between 140 and 170 staff.
All right, let's address some of the concerns that have been raised. Court Secretary General Francis Atwoli saying this is an exercise to victimize people, and the fear that people working in the counties now could lose their jobs. Could you address that?
I would address that by indicating that within the context of the institutional framework that we put in place for managing this exercise, we have a national steering committee that is co-chaired by the Cabinet Secretary for Devolution and the Chairman of the Council of Governors. Within that intergovernmental steering committee, the Union for Civil Servants is actually represented. I also sit in that committee. And therefore, what I'm trying to tell you is that we are working closely with the Union for Civil Servants.
But you say that, but they have also raised their concerns. And Kinuthia Wamangi was also here just before this exercise was launched. He said everyone is working in tandem, but then we hear voices of dissent.
Now, there are no voices of dissent from the Union of Kenya Civil Servants. We also, incidentally, have been meeting with the Secretary General, MP Roba, Mheshimiwa Roba, who is the Secretary General of the former officers who are working in local authorities, when the local authorities, of course, with the devolution system disappeared from the scene. But there are those workers, and the Secretary General is also part of this. And even on Friday, we had a meeting, and your officers, some of the officers from your own newspapers were there. They saw the chairman of the Kenya Union of Civil Servants, and Mheshimiwa Roba in the meeting with the Council of Governors, including officers from the Ministry of Devolution and Transition Authority.
Okay, all right, so all in tandem, and we will wait to see if we hear any voices of dissent that continue to come up in the course of this one, and to see just how that will be addressed. Finally, Bwana Governor, just as we have this discussion, we had a story by Asha Mwilu, our reporter, that just prefaced this discussion, and is talking about more money to the counties. And of course, the idea is that much of it is being spent on recurrent expenditure, salaries, which is probably where this registration exercise will help to weed out those who don't deserve the money, but also a great chunk of it for development. 45% to the counties. What would that mean for you in your county?
For me, in my own county, I'll tell you, if I got that money, it means that I'm going to do more roads. It means that I'm going to improve health services. For instance, I'll tell you in Kisii, when I went there, Kisii didn't have the Kisii hospital, which is the biggest hospital in that particular area, which actually serves Kisii, Nyamira, even parts of Migori and other areas, because it's a level 5 hospital. It did not have a lot of machines like the ones for diagnostics. It didn't have the other major machines which we've been able to put in place. The mortuary was a 20-unit mortuary. We are putting in place a 100-unit mortuary.
All right, so that's what you've done with the money given so far.
Yeah, we are.
What would you do with more money? Should it come to 45%?
We are putting in place a 150-bed in that hospital. We will improve the other outlying hospital so that we decongest this hospital, so that it can become much more of a referral type of unit.
Okay.
For the roads, we will be able to improve the roads at local level so that they are motorable throughout the year. In other counties, like in Kisii, it rains throughout the year.
Would it starve the national government if you got 45%?
It would not starve the national government, because the 45% that we are asking for is actually, we have already done our mathematics. The 45% that we are asking for is money that is at the moment in various ministries where they are performing functions which are already devolved under Schedule 4. If you go to the Ministry of Health, you will find they have over 20 billion shillings performing functions that should be performed at the local level. If you go to Ministry of Water, you will find they have over 20 million shillings performing functions like cattle, like water pans and so on.
So that money should come to the counties.
So basically, even the 45% that we are talking about, we are not taking anything from the national government. We are telling the national government, perform the functions that you are given by Schedule 4 of the Constitution.
Okay.
If you do so and you give us the money that you put in the budget, even for this financial year, just the money that they have put there is more than 45%.
Okay, and we have to leave it at that. We thank you for your time today. Of course, that process of registration of county workers begins on the 22nd of September. Is that not so?
Yes.
We thank you so much, Governor of Kisii County, Honorable James Ongwae, and we thank him for being with us this evening. We'll continue to see how that pans out in the weeks ahead.